Paul from Click and Turn here. Just thought we'd get a quick view of the monstrosity I've built for displaying my stuff at a upcoming Viking fair in Lewes near Brighton, UK that is, if you're watching from America. Anyway, yeah, today's video we're going to be concentrating on this little baby. It's a very, well, was a very rotten piece of wood. You can get some light down there. And I was deciding whether to fill it with resin or to do something nice with it. I've put it on the old screw chuck with a few spacers on there, mounted on a bit of old cedar of Lebanon, which I had left over from a previous project. And well, I'm going to turn it a little bit rounder within the confines of that base that I've done there. Then I'll decide whether I'm going to do something special with it. Well, of course I'm going to do something special with it, but whether we'll fill it with resin and then turn it sideways on, so we've got like an eye on either side of the vase, pot, or whatever it might be. But I think I need to lose some of this bark first as well, because it's a bit loose in places. So, and once you've encased it in resin, it's a bit of a trouble spot. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully. Righto, let's give it a bit of a brush up with my brass wheel on the outside here. Clean off all some of the bark debris. In case you're wondering, this is what we have down the hole. And the outside. This is going to get exciting, isn't it? Yeah. Should make for an interesting piece. Okay, take two. I have to do it bit at a time. Not quite sure how that's going to work for me. It's going to take an awful long time, I can tell you that. I'll bring you back in just a short while. Righto, well, it's resin mixing time. As you can see, I'm all prepared. Here's my thing, all prepared and ready to leak. Oh, I can't tell you how much tape I've got around it and glue. Oh, it's going to leak, isn't it? Call me the eternal optimist. So, anyway, here we go. One very worn out scales and some glass cast 50, because it is quite deep. Let's get mixing. I'm going by weight, so as you can see just here it tells you if you're doing it by weight it's 100 parts resin, 45 parts hardener. So Right, that's one. And what you think about this? How about that? Bit of black, bit of gold, and a bit of fuchsia. That sounds exciting. Possibly. Okay, let's mix them up and then we'll have to let it sit and stiffen up a little bit before we put it in, otherwise you won't get any decent colour separation. So I'm not entirely sure what the pot life is for glass cast 50. I'll look it up and let you know. We'll hasten to add that this is going to be deeper than what they recommend, but I don't particularly want to do it in 3 pours. We'll risk it for a biscuit. We've always got UV resin to fill some exothermic crack doodahs. There we go. I just looked up glass cast pot life and it reckons at 20 degrees, which is nearly that I suppose, is about an hour. So I'm going to give it an hour. I'm going to come back and I'm going to see what it's like. I just had to spend 20 minutes cleaning my pressure pot. Oh dear, it was in a bit of a sorry state, but it's all clean now, ready for use. Well, that's an hour up. Whilst it feels a lot goopier, the temperature doesn't actually appear to be much different, as you can see. Which is weird because I thought it was supposed to get hot as it was going goopier or setting. I might leave it just a little bit longer. Well, as you can see, I've put a waste block into the middle of this. No point wasting resin. It does stick up quite a long way, but I've measured the pressure pot. 27.5 centimetres is what I've got. The overall height of this is just under 27 centimetres. So we're good, I think. Question is, do we have enough resin? Well, we'll find out in a little bit, but it's been an hour and 3/4 where they said the pot life was an hour, and it's definitely goopier, thicker. So I'm going to pour it now and we're going to see how many runs we got. Maybe I should have left the glue gun turned on. Let's have a little bit of gold. I'm actually going to put it in this upturned Quality Street thing. Oh, we're not going to have enough resin by a long way by the looks of it. No telling what it is. Here we are, 4 days later. But a blink of an eyelid to you. So it seems my mould held up. It's pretty amazing. Probably the first time. Well, here we go. It's a bit odd shaped, but we got some colour separation. There's the pinky purpley sort of colour. There's gold you can see throughout it with shadows of black. I think that we're all right. Well, here we go, 500 RPM, one carbide tool and a visor. Looking alright so far. Got a bit of a way to go, but that won't take long, especially at 10 times the speed. Okay, it's time to part this badger off. Shall we find centre again? It's got to be there somewhere. Okay. Righto, this bit's going to be the bottom and this bit's going to be the top because it's got the waste block in there. Okay, so I've got down an inch or so and I'm finding that the resin's still a little bit soft. It's like a toffee sweet, hard on the outside and soft and chewy on the inside. Okay, well that's gonna need another day or so to finish curing, so have a little blink and I'll be back. Okay, we're back now. I've given it a little test and it seems to be settled in, so we'll just carry on, shall we? Sanding sealer just to bring out the inner joy. tenon at the other end now. Got a bit of tailstock support, and you're probably wondering what this rule is underneath the front of the tailstock. Well, it needs shimming, and that's all I've got is a rule at the moment to shim the front of it so the live centre meets the centre of the wood. Good work, Nova. Well done. Anyway, let's carry on. For a little bit of sanding, I feel. Let's bring the speed down a bit. Righto, well, it's time for true grit. Time for a bit of True Grit's little brother, Superfine. Blingy without doing much more, isn't it? Like that. Good stuff. Time for the inside. Hey, let's use this Forstner bit to bore our way down a little bit. We want to be hitting 12 centimetres, which is right up to the edge of the jaws of the chuck. So, turn it down a bit, let's not go too mad, eh? Well, I finished on an 80mm Forstner bit, so obviously the walls are a bit thicker halfway down, but that's alright, we can do that with a tool. But as for now, it's time to go dinner shopping, so back to it tomorrow. Another blink of an eyelid for you. Here we are again, hollowing time. Better turn the lathe on first though, that might be a good move. Well, it's still a little rough inside. I'll just keep knocking away at the little ridges and what have you, and then we should be good to finish ish. Gonna need to revisit the outside because it's stiffened up a little bit overnight, and yeah, just needs a bit more finishing. Sorry for the noise you might hear in the background. Next doors have got workmen in. Anyway, it's time for a little bit of sanding sealer now on the inside. This is where I need to get myself a longer brush. sure how I'm going to do it, but it's time for a bit of true grit down the hole. I think I can only go as far as my fingers will reach. Anyway. I think we've all done it before, haven't we? With some alcohol. True Grit's little brother, superfine little True Grit. Wipe down with a little bit more alcohol. Time for a bit of sanding sealer, because we need to seal it up, because I intend to spray it with some Hampshire Sheen Professional Clear Gloss Lacquer, just to bring out the final bling. So we need to make sure the wood is as sealed as it's going to be. I'm not painting it on because I don't want paintbrush marks all over it. So let's just rub it in and get it going. We'll let that dry for 10-15 minutes. Time for a cup of coffee, and then we'll give it a spray up.